Some things Japan has built into daily life are so clever and considered that the moment you encounter them, you immediately wonder why the rest of the world hasn't done the same. Cafes where you soak your feet in a hot spring foot bath while drinking coffee. A checkout system that scans an entire basket of clothing without you removing or scanning a single item. And a dual-mode vehicle that travels as a bus on normal roads and converts to a train on rail tracks, all in a single uninterrupted journey. Japan doesn't just make life easier, it makes things so effortless that you only realize how much effort everything else required the moment you leave and have to go back to doing it the old way. Today, we're counting down 15 Japanese ideas that make everyday life easier. Watch until the end because number 15, robots roaming Japanese airports to carry bags and assist travelers, proves that what sounds futuristic everywhere else is just another day in Japan. Number 1. Foot bath cafes. Japan operates foot bath cafes where customers order drinks and sit at low tables with their feet submerged in continuously flowing hot spring water or heated mineral water, combining the restorative benefits of an onsen foot soak with the casual social environment of a cafe in a single visit. You arrive, remove your shoes, order your drink, and lower your feet into the warm water channel running beneath the table. The heat works on tired feet and legs throughout the duration of the visit without requiring you to go to a dedicated spa facility or commit to a full bathing experience. The concept exists in tourist areas, near train stations, and in shopping districts where foot fatigue from walking accumulates throughout the day and a seated rest alone doesn't fully address it. Japan recognized that tired feet are a specific problem that a specific solution addresses better than simply sitting down, and built a hospitality format around that solution that also serves good coffee. Number 2. Uniqlo RFID self-checkout. Uniqlo's self-checkout system uses RFID tags embedded in every garment that are read simultaneously by sensors built into the checkout unit, identifying every item in the basket at once the moment you place it in the designated area without removing, unfolding, or scanning a single piece individually. You place your basket in the unit, the screen displays every item and the total within a second. You confirm and pay. The entire checkout process takes under 15 seconds, regardless of how many items are in the basket. The RFID tag is sewn into the garment label during production. It carries the product information and price. The checkout reader detects every tag in the basket simultaneously, rather than requiring line-of-sight scanning of each individual barcode. Japan applied a technology that was available everywhere to a retail problem that everyone had accepted as unsolvable and produced a checkout experience that makes every other clothing store's process feel like it was designed without the customer in mind. Number 3. Dual-mode bus train. Japan operates dual-mode vehicles known as DMVs that function as standard minibuses on normal roads and convert to rail vehicles on train tracks, completing a single journey that transitions between both modes mid-route without passengers disembarking or changing vehicle at any point. The conversion takes approximately 15 seconds. The vehicle approaches the track, steel guide wheels deploy from beneath the chassis, the rubber road tires disengage from drive, and the vehicle moves onto the track and continues as a rail vehicle. The reverse process works the same way at the other end. The practical application is connecting rural communities where building dedicated rail infrastructure to every destination is economically impractical. The DMV uses existing road networks for part of the route and existing tracks for the rest, serving areas that neither bus nor train alone could reach efficiently. Japan took the engineering challenge of one vehicle doing two jobs and solved it with a wheel system that deploys in seconds, and the result is a transit solution that exists nowhere else in the world. If you're enjoying this so far, go ahead and tap like. It tells YouTube you want more of Japan's clever everyday innovations. And if you love discovering things you didn't even know existed, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this list. Trust me, the next ones are even cooler. Number 4. Sweet potato trucks and sports cars. Japan's Yaki-Imo vendors sell stone-roasted sweet potatoes from the back of slow-moving trucks, and in some cases, modified sports cars that travel residential neighborhoods, playing a distinctive recorded melody from a loudspeaker, announcing their presence so residents can come out and buy directly from the vehicle. The sweet potatoes are roasted slowly in heated stones in an oven built into the vehicle, producing a caramelized, intensely sweet result that baking or steaming does not replicate. You hear the melody, go outside and buy one wrapped in paper for a few hundred yen. The sports car version is exactly what it sounds like. A modified performance vehicle with a roasting oven built into the back, playing the same traditional melody, selling the same sweet potatoes from a vehicle that makes the transaction genuinely memorable. Japan kept a roving food vendor tradition alive in a modern city, and then, at some point, decided the delivery vehicle should be a sports car. Number 5. Unmanned honesty stores. Japan operates small unmanned retail stands and roadside shops selling vegetables, fruit, eggs, and local produce, with no staff, no security cameras, and a simple cash box where customers leave the correct payment and take their item without any transaction being supervised or enforced. The system works because the cultural expectation in Japan is that taking something without paying is a social failure serious enough that the vast majority of people simply don't do it. The stand operates on trust, and the trust is consistently honored. These stands appear on rural roadsides, outside farms, and in residential neighborhoods. The produce is often fresher than anything in a supermarket because it comes directly from the grower. The price is lower because there is no retail overhead. The transaction takes 10 seconds. Japan built a retail format that requires no staff, no infrastructure beyond a table and a box, and no enforcement mechanism beyond the shared social understanding that paying for things is simply what you do. Number 6. Japan's cleanliness standards. Japan's public spaces, streets, signage, and washroom facilities are maintained to a standard so consistently high that visitors from other countries often describe the experience of moving through a Japanese city as genuinely different from anywhere else they have been. The streets are clean not because of frequent cleaning crews, but because the cultural expectation of not littering is strong enough to make the behavior rare rather than common. Street signage is well maintained, clearly designed, and replaced before it deteriorates. Pavements are in good repair. Public washrooms are cleaned on posted schedules and stocked consistently. The standard applies uniformly rather than selectively. It's not restricted to tourist areas or city centers. Rural towns, train stations, public parks, and highway rest stops all reflect the same baseline. Japan treats the condition of shared public spaces as a collective responsibility rather than a municipal management problem, and the visible outcome of that cultural position is a country that looks like someone cares about it everywhere you go. Number 7. Tamago Sando Egg Sandwich. Japan's convenience store egg salad sandwich, the Tamago Sando, is one of the most protein-rich, affordable meals available anywhere on the go. Made from a thick filling of Japanese egg salad, sandwiched between soft shakupan milk bread, and sold fresh daily at every konbini for under $2. The egg salad is made specifically for the sandwich, using hard-boiled eggs, Japanese mayonnaise, and light seasoning. The ratio is generous enough that egg is the dominant ingredient, rather than a layer spread thin across too much bread. A single sandwich delivers a meaningful amount of protein at a price point that makes it a practical daily meal rather than an occasional purchase. The crust is removed. The sandwich is cut diagonally to show the filling cross-section. It is packaged to keep the bread soft until the moment it's opened. Japan made a protein-rich, genuinely satisfying meal, put it in every convenience store in the country, and priced it so anyone can eat well without thinking twice about the cost. Number 8. Nagashi Somen Flowing Noodles. Nagashi Somen is a Japanese dining experience where thin, cold somen noodles are placed into a channel of flowing water, typically split bamboo, and diners catch them with chopsticks as they flow past and dip them in a seasoned broth before eating. The setup ranges from elaborate restaurant installations with long bamboo channels running the full length of a dining room to simple outdoor setups at summer festivals and rural restaurants. The act of catching the noodles before they pass is part of the experience rather than incidental to it. It's a warm weather tradition that turns eating noodles into an activity. The challenge is real enough to be engaging without being difficult enough to be frustrating. Missing a bunch and watching it flow past adds genuine comedy to the meal. Japan built a dining format around the specific pleasure of catching your food before you eat it and produced a summer tradition that people seek out specifically rather than simply stumbling upon. Number 9. Japanese Precision Folding for Travel. Japan has developed a series of clothing folding techniques specifically optimized for travel luggage that compress garments into flat, structured parcels that stack without shifting, resist creasing better than standard folding, and use the full volume of a suitcase without wasted space between irregularly shaped items. The techniques are taught through dedicated instructional content, retail packaging demonstrations, and travel product lines built around the principle. The Ranger roll, the file fold, and various compression methods have been refined to specific garment types. Shirts fold differently from trousers, which fold differently from knitwear. The practical outcome for someone applying the techniques is a suitcase that holds more, unpacks more neatly, and produces fewer wrinkles than the same case packed conventionally with the same clothing. Japan treated packing a suitcase as a spatial engineering problem with a learnable optimal solution and produced a body of technique around it that turns what most people treat as a rushed, last-minute task into something that takes the same amount of time and produces a measurably better result. Number 10. Information Robot Arisa. Arisa is a humanoid information robot deployed in Japanese shopping centers, train stations, and public facilities that answers visitor questions, provides directions, displays maps and facility information on an integrated screen, and conducts basic conversations in multiple languages without any human operator involvement. The robot is positioned at information points where a human staff member would traditionally stand and handles the most common visitor queries autonomously. Location of specific shops, toilet facilities, exits, nearby transit connections, and opening hours are all within its operational range. For international visitors, the multilingual capability removes the language barrier from a facility navigation interaction that would otherwise require finding a staff member who speaks the relevant language, which in many Japanese facilities is not guaranteed. Japan deployed a robot at the information desk, not because human staff couldn't do the job, but because a robot can do it in any language, at any hour, without a break, and without the visitor needing to find anyone. Number 11. Nitori Cutting Board. The Nitori Cutting Board is a 4-in-1 kitchen product that combines a cutting surface, a built-in ceramic knife sharpener, a grater section for mincing garlic and ginger, and a high thermal conductivity aluminum defrosting plate that thaws frozen food without electricity, heat, or any active process beyond placing the frozen item on its surface. The aluminum plate draws heat from the surrounding air and transfers it to the frozen ingredient at a rate that significantly reduces thaw time compared to leaving food on a standard surface. The knife sharpener is built into the edge for quick maintenance between uses. The grater section handles condiment preparation without a separate tool. 4 kitchen tasks, 1 object. Everything in one place rather than distributed across 4 separate tools that need to be located, used, and stored individually. Japan looked at the cutting board and asked how many problems it could solve beyond the one it was already designed for, then built the answer into the product without making it significantly larger or more expensive than the version that only does one thing. Number 12. Custom Hanko stamp vending machines. Japan's Hanko stamp vending machines allow customers to design and produce a custom personal seal in minutes from a machine in a shopping center or stationery store, inputting their name in Japanese characters and selecting the font, size, and case material, with the finished stamp produced and dispensed within a few minutes. The Hanko is Japan's personal authentication seal used in place of a signature on official documents, contracts, and banking paperwork. Having one made traditionally required visiting a specialist carver and waiting days. The vending machine version produces a functional registered quality stamp immediately. The machine handles both the design preview and the engraving process automatically, producing a seal accurate enough for everyday document use in minutes from a self-service terminal. Japan put a craft service that previously required a specialist into a machine that anyone can use and produce the same output in a fraction of the time at a fraction of the cost. Number 13. Mochi Maker Machine. Japan's home. Mochi making machines take cooked glutinous rice and knead and pound it automatically through a motorized process that replicates the traditional mallet and mortar technique without the physical effort, the coordination, or the risk of injury that traditional mochi making by hand involves. You load the cooked rice, set the program, and the machine produces smooth, properly textured mochi within minutes. The result is indistinguishable from hand-pounded mochi in texture and consistency and requires no skill, no partner to assist with the pounding rhythm, and no specialized equipment beyond the machine itself. Traditional mochi making involves 2 people and a significant physical effort. The process is central to Japanese New Year culture and various seasonal traditions, but has become increasingly impractical in urban households without the space, equipment, or physical capacity to do it the traditional way. Japan built a machine that preserves the output of a centuries-old culinary tradition and made it accessible to anyone with a kitchen counter and a power outlet. Number 14. Kotora Mosquito Coils. Japan's Kotora mosquito repellent coils are slow-burning spiral incense coils made from dried chrysanthemum flower extract that produce a continuous smoke-repelling mosquitoes for several hours, providing effective outdoor and indoor protection without electricity, batteries, or any mechanical device. You light the outer tip of the coil, place it in the stand, and the burn travels inward along the spiral over 6 to 8 hours, releasing repellent compounds throughout the session. The coil stand keeps it elevated from flammable surfaces and allows the smoke to disperse effectively in the surrounding area. The chrysanthemum-derived active compound, pyrethrin, is a natural insecticide effective against mosquitoes that breaks down rapidly in the environment without accumulating in soil or water. The coil format has remained essentially unchanged for over a century because it works. Japan developed a mosquito repellent that requires no power source, costs almost nothing, lasts hours, and is effective enough that the spiral coil design has been adopted globally as the standard format for this type of product. Number 15. Airport luggage and assistance robots. Japan has deployed autonomous robots in major airports including Haneda and Narita that perform two distinct functions: carrying passenger luggage between check-in and departure areas and providing wayfinding assistance and flight information to travelers navigating the terminal. The luggage-carrying robots follow registered passengers through the terminal, using sensor navigation, carrying bags at walking pace without requiring the passenger to push, pull, or manage anything beyond confirming the destination point. The assistance robots respond to voice queries and display maps and gate information on integrated screens. Both robot types navigate around other passengers, obstacles, and the standard chaos of a busy terminal without human remote operation. For elderly travelers, passengers with mobility limitations, or anyone managing more luggage than is comfortable to carry, the robots provide a practical solution at the exact point where the need is greatest. Japan deployed robots in airports not as a demonstration of technology, but as a functional service addressing a real daily problem, and produced something that makes navigating a busy terminal measurably easier than doing it without them. If you want to see more amazing things Japan is doing better than the rest of the world, then like and subscribe. And make sure to watch the video on your end screen. It's packed with even more life-making things.